Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for introduction. I'm Kateryna Sikora. I'm a judge of High Anti-Corruption Court based in Kiev, Ukraine. How many of you started your career in law in the age of 19? I did. My current professional portfolio includes 7 years of practice as an attorney and 16 years experience working as a lawyer. Since 2019, I've been a judge of the High Anti-Corruption Court, or HACC in short. I'm also a PhD holder. This morning, I will try to tell you what does it take to become the HACC judge. I'll begin by giving you an overview of the legal basis that set forth the establishment of the HACC in 2019. Then I'll get you through some facts and figures to show what the contest for a HACC judge looked like. Finally, we'll make a few observations of the benefits of our contest and the risks which we judges are facing in our everyday activity. My talk will last about 20 minutes, and in the end, maybe we will have time for some discussion or questions and answers. So let's get started. Why was it necessary to establish the HACC judge in Ukraine? There were two main reasons for that. First of all, the establishment of our court was the result of judicial reforms introduced in 2016. Secondly, this was the response to the requirements of Ukraine's international partners. For example, adoption of the law on the HACC was a necessary condition to obtain the next tranche of credit funds from the International Monetary Fund. The HACC was established with the mission to administer justice in criminal proceedings regarding corruption and corruption-related crimes based on the rule of law, and also to ensure equal access to fair trial and respect for human rights and freedoms. Let's have a look now at what laws were adopted to make this happen. First of all, an article providing establishment of high specialized courts was added to the Constitution of Ukraine. The article prescribes that particular requirements for high specialized court judges could be specified in legal act. Such underlying legislation for us is the law on the HACC, which was adopted in June 2018. Along with the status of the HACC judge, special requirements to such judges, and the governmental guarantees to ensure our activity, this law stipulates certain conditions for admission to the national contest between lawyers for the position of the HACC judge. Under Article 7 of this law, any citizen of Ukraine can be appointed for this position if they comply with the requirements specified in the law on the judiciary and status of judges. These are so-called ordinary requirements, which are for each judge in Ukraine, aged from 30 to 65 and university degree in law. Except these particular requirements were set for the HACC judges, such as the evidence of the knowledge and practical skills necessary to perform judicial functions in corruption-related cases. The other condition the applicants must comply with concerns their professional experience. It should be either at least 5 years working as a judge, or a degree in law and at least 7 years of relevant scholarly experience, or at least 7 years of professional experience as a defense attorney, including representation in court or defense from criminal charges. This is really my case. or at least 7 years of any relevant professional activity mentioned before. The law on the HACC also determines the conditions under which an individual shall be not eligible for the position of a judge. For instance, those who within 10 years before appointment have either held political office or representative mandate or worked or served in the area of law enforcement, including prevention and fighting corruption, money laundering, funding terrorism, trafficking, etc., are not admitted to the contest. Additionally, some amendments were made in the Criminal Procedure Code of Ukraine and the law on the judiciary and status of judges. This is what made general legal foundation for the contest, and I'm moving to the instruments that regulate the procedure of contest. So, in August 2018, the High Qualification Commission of Judges of Ukraine announced a contest for 39 vacant judge positions, including 27 in first instance and 12 in appellate chamber. The conditions of the contest were promulgated on the website of the Commission. The list of required documents counted up to 18 items, including, for example, motivation statement, declaration of integrity, declaration of assets and property status, declaration of family relations, medical certificates from psychiatrist and narcologist, working experience record, etc. Article 9 of our basic law prescribes that the Public Council of International Experts shall be formed as a subsidiary to the Commission instrument, subsidiary body, to ensure fairness and transparency of the contest. The requirements for potential Public Council members were very high. Whether a native Ukrainian or foreigner, one must hold an impeccable business standing, high professional and moral qualities, respect in the society, at least 5 years of experience in international procedures management, support of public prosecution in court or administration of justice in corruption-related cases. Eventually, in November 2018, 6 highly reputable persons formed the Public Council, namely Aurelijus Gutauskas, the judge of the Supreme Court of Lithuania, Ted Zarjechny, judge of the Court of Queen's Bench for Saskatchewan, Canada, Mirjana Lazarova-Traikovska, former head of the first section of the European Court of Human Rights, Lorna Harris, UK prosecutor, retired, Sir Anthony Hooper, judge of the Court of Appeal of England and Wales, also retired, Clemens C. Denker, former deputy state prosecutor in the Office for the Investigation of Serious Economic Crimes, Denmark. The Public Council has their authority to verify the compliance of every individual candidate with the criteria stipulated in the law. Upon an initiative of at least 3 members of Public Council, the question of candidates' compliance was reviewed at a special joint meeting of the Commission, High Qualification Commission of Judges, and the Public Council. The decision on a candidate's compliance with the criteria can be approved by the majority of this joint meeting, provided that at least half of international experts voted in favor of it. Otherwise, the candidate is considered to leave, to drop out of the competition. So the main role, the main function of Public Council of International Experts is the right to veto any candidate due to non-compliance with the criteria of integrity. On the top of this, the contestants went through a drastic psychological testing and an interview with a psychiatrist. Along with this, a thorough special investigation was conducted to establish integrity of the information provided by candidates. In a nutshell, a comprehensive portfolio of favorable test results, successful interviews, verification procedure have paved the way to a judge position in the HACC. So let me now go over some facts and figures about our contest. The whole process took approximately 8 months. In August 2018, the High Qualification Commission of Judges announced competition for the selection of judges of the HACC. In March 2019, this commission announced the results of the contest and published the participants' rating, which was based on the number of points accumulated during the whole procedure by each of the candidates. In April 2019, 38 judges of the HACC were appointed to their positions by the President's decree. Later, I will explain why 28 but not 29, as it was supposed before. Totally, 342 candidates competed for 39 positions. 270 candidates were admitted to the competition, so their document portfolio met the requirements set by the Commission. Among the candidates admitted to the anonymous written testing, 50% were career judges, 30% were attorneys, 14% academics, and 6% have had total experience mentioned before. There were 69 PhD holders and doctors of science among them. In the regional context, the largest number of candidates were from Kiev, 22%. 8% and 7% of the candidates were from Dnipropetrovsk and Kharkiv regions, respectively. By the way, I was one of those from Dnipropetrovsk, which is my native city. 156 candidates successfully passed multiple choice test, which concerned criminal law, criminal procedure law, and anti-corruption legislation. 113 candidates remained after completion of written case study. The task was to draft a verdict in a corruption-related criminal case. In January 2019, the High Qualification Commission of Judges and the Public Council of International Experts mentioned before held 6 joint meetings to review the decisions on 46 candidates. As a result of these meetings, 39 candidates withdrew from the competition, while 7 candidates were shortlisted to participate in the next stage, which is named Portfolio Validation and Interview. 3 candidates withdrew from contest before meetings by themselves. There was their own decision. So 24 candidates were rejected by the Public Council of International Experts, while 71 candidates were admitted to the final interview with the High Qualification Commission of Judges. Eventually, 39 top-rated candidates were selected, but later one more candidate withdrew his candidacy. As a result, 38 our judges are currently administrating judges in our court. Let's see who are these professionals. Among 38 HACC judges, there are 22 career judges, 13 attorneys, 3 academics. Their age at the moment of appointing ranged from 34 to 56 years. There are 14 women and 24 men among them. This number of candidates with different professional experience shows that Ukrainian lawyers were ready for healthy competition on a public basis and trusted the competition procedures which were set by the Commission. So, what makes Ukrainian case outstanding? Firstly, although all judges in Ukraine have equal status, it should be acknowledged that the HSCC contest was indeed highly transparent, objective, and technocratic. Secondly, to my best knowledge, never and nowhere before had international experts taken part in judge selection. What's more, video and audio recording and live broadcast was provided for almost every contest procedure and the assessment stage. The unconditional advantage of our contest was a brand new procedure which provided access to the profession of judge to such categories like attorneys and academics. In my opinion, this added value and made a synergetic impact on the process of hearing corruption-related criminal cases. However, not everything is so rosy in this garden, and I should also mention the challenges the HSCC judges encounter. Main risks are connected with our direct activity in administrating justice. Although administration is our priority, administration justice, there are certain challenges due to the shortcomings of the current legislation, the shortage of justice, because we hear cases in panels of 3 judges, and it takes a lot of time, and the behavior of their parties. The High Council of Justice should be mentioned especially. This is the unique governmental body in charge of maintaining the disciplinary and criminal responsibility of judges. And therefore, this body generally plays a significant role in a judge's career. 125 complaints concerning the HACC judges' activity were filed to the High Council of Justice in 2020. So it's obvious that in many ways the success of our activity depends on the decisions made by the High Council of Justice as a result of its consideration of the complaints. By now, panels of judges of HACC passed 32 verdicts, including 12 plea guilty agreements. Hearing in 183 cases, criminal cases, is still in process. Nevertheless, HACC judges are highly motivated and proud to do their job as good as they are able. So thank you very much for your attention.